would be shocked and horrified to think that he didn't do a good job teaching Gabe how to be a man. Just like I'm sure your mother might be shocked and horrified to hear how she taught you to be mean and bitter as a woman.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Other woman, I was devastated. I was married to my ex-husband over 30 years. I had to say, see ya.
What about you, Papa?
That's because people live in their fantasy world.
I don't think people were living in the fantasy world. You got the woman coming in, laying in your bed, screwing in your bed. That is not a fantasy world. That's for real.
Okay, guys, first, let me apologize for the last video. I have no idea what happened. I played that video several times before I actually uploaded the video to YouTube, but I've realized that something happened during the configuration in uploading it to YouTube. It played fine prior to, but let's get into it. I also added an additional clip for y'all time. Let's get into it. Now, what we have learned, if we have not learned anything else, Mama Evelyn is beautiful, by the way, but her bitterness is very strong. I showed you guys this previous clip that you just watched because I know it has been some time since that has played on television. The amount of bitterness that Miss Evelyn had toward her husband, and they had been divorced for at least a decade or two, it kind of sets the tone for the type of bitterness that her daughters carry, even in their relationship with each other. If you look at Towanda and Tamar, if you look at the bitterness that Tracy experienced, and we can't deny Tracy's feelings. You know, if somebody says, I feel this way, we don't get to deny how somebody feels, and Tracy's feelings were valid. We're watching it play out with Towanda and Tamar. We see Tony, who's the older sister. She's just as messy, but she's quietly messy because she knows what's going on and she doesn't intervene in any way. But then she did say that if they were not her family, she wouldn't even deal with them, right? Then we see Trina, where everyone is saying her mechanism is the bottle, okay? They receive their bitterness from their mother. When I read the comments, the consensus is the same. I'm not saying she was a bad mother. What I'm saying is she did not clear up her bitterness. She's controlling, and she passed every one of those attributes on to her children, or grown women now. But I don't think what she didn't understand or didn't think out or probably didn't know she was doing this, because she's only a human. She didn't obviously heal from what she went through. But what she probably didn't think is that the bitterness that she passed on or that she dealt with her ex-husband would be the same bitterness that they dealt with in their marriages and even with one another.
I don't know anything about it.
You're a liar.
And you a dirty liar. And a tree liar. You either.
The nerve of him calling mommy a dirty liar, and he's the one who's been lying about his mistress for years.
You think you had the perfect marriage, but you didn't have the perfect marriage.
How does she think she was perfect, Dad?
Because everything she said she thought was right.
Now, the father and Evelyn going back and forth, calling her a dirty liar and she calling him a liar, was just too much, honey. It just was too much. But what we learned in this video clip is the parents did not like each other. It seems like what the dad is saying is that Miss Evelyn only wanted to hear herself talk. She only wanted to hold true to what she thought was true and did not want to listen to anybody else. He said she was very controlling and wanted and still is controlling the lives of her daughters while not basically controlling her own life. He said that she thought she had the perfect marriage and it was far from perfect. Now, he didn't go into the reason why he felt that she thought that they had a perfect marriage, but he went on to say he wasn't happy. She didn't listen to him. And frankly, Tony intervenes and says, Dad, I get it now because I have children. I'm going through a divorce. You did not like mommy. And I still don't understand why these grown ass women call a mother mommy. Somebody need to study that. Now, what we also learned is Tamar intervenes and said, yeah, he don't like her. So y'all see where I'm going with this?
Pitiful lie, too.
And as long as you agree with her, she's fine. And it's the same thing with y'all. If y'all don't agree with her, she is pissed. And it's time for y'all to stop letting your mother run your life.
That's what I have to do with that thing.
It's time for y'all to stop letting your mother run your life.
It's time for y'all, meaning the Braxton sisters, to stop letting your mother run your life. Now, is this accurate? Is this what we're seeing with this show? Because we've been hearing for some time that the mother is one of the people behind, let's do the show, let's do the show. Is she running their lives?
How dare he try to tell me how to raise my kids after he have abandoned us? He has some nerve.
Y'all have lives to live yourself, and she can't run her life, her home, and your home too.
You know what? Had you been home long enough to help me to raise them, it wouldn't be such a problem. But
if you could be home, or if you were home to help me raise them. Now, I can certainly echo those sentiments, but where it seems to be a problem is this the proper place to have this conversation in front of those adults, and we're bickering back and forth for something that happened 15 years ago, maybe more? So this entire interaction is so inappropriate. And this lays the foundation for the bitter and the hatefulness that these grown adults have with each other. I mean, think about it. They grew up in a house where they had their mother and their father, two people that they thought loved each other. And then when they decided to dissolve their marriage and move on, all they witnessed was hate.
where were you?
What
out
did
there
you do?
hanging in the street,
What did you do
doing
all
whatever
day?
you were
What
big
did you
enough
do
to do.
all day long?
What did you do?
What did
and
you
what
do?
did you do?
If the
Hanging
children
out
did
in
that,
the street.
I
And
provide
what
a
did you
living for
tell
all
me?
of my children.
Okay, I'm gonna say one thing. I'm the oldest child. I've been my parents the longest. I think that Daddy doesn't like mommy.
And he hasn't for
And he hasn't for a long time.
Now, that's the Toni Braxton that I wish would speak up on the show and not just sit there as if she don't know what the hell is going on. Toni Braxton says, listen, I know what's going on here. My daddy do not like my mother, and he hasn't for a very long time. So don't that kind of set the stage for the type of environment that they grew up in? They were in a household with two people that at some point, daddy didn't like her. And maybe she didn't like him either, because, I mean, I don't know if y'all ever been around people that's been in love before. Well, apparently they were in love at some point, but you cannot see any remnants of it because it just seemed like two people that you can't even imagine these two, him being on top of her or her being on top of him. This is all messed up, and this is what they took into their personalities, and this is what formed who they became as adults.
There's absolutely possibly no reason y'all shouldn't have been friends. There's no way, because I got kids now. I get it.
I agree with you.
I'm going through a separation, so I get it.
agree with
It's
you
like
with that.
y'all should be friends, but you handle it wrong.
You're going to hell for everything.
That entire family holds grudges. That's what it is. They hold bitterness, resentment, and grudges. And they never let it go. The mama ain't let it go with her ex-husband. She's still bitter about that. They don't let it go. Towanda has a grudge against Tamar over Tamar getting a solo deal. Tracy held a grudge for not being signed to the Braxtons with the rest of the girls. Tony holds a grudge against her sisters for having to carry them along and always having to look behind them and not being able to go as high as she wanted to go because she was always playing older sister. And low-key holding a grudge against her mama for forcing her to do that or feeling like she has to like take her sisters with her. They all hold grudges. They don't let anything go. That's the Braxton's family value. And like after all these years, that's what it is. They all need to just hash it out. And that they need to hold that same sit down that they had with their daddy and Miss Wanda. They mama should have been there. They need, except, not with Miss Wanda. You know what, better yet? Yes, with Miss Wanda. I feel like they handled their mother with kid gloves. That mother needs to be held accountable. She needs to be blamed. And she needs to honestly get the fuck over it.
They would be shocked and horrified to think that he didn't do a good job teaching Gabe how to be a man. Just like I'm sure your mother might be shocked and horrified to hear how she taught you to be mean and bitter as a woman. You're shaking your head no. How'd you learn it?
I wish Iyanla come back and fix some more lives, honey, because she was right on it. Trina, you received the bitterness and the resentment from your mother. Trina doesn't want to own it because, of course, she's protecting her mother. And like in most families, we feel like if we say something that's not nice about our mother or our father, we're going to be crucified. Well, it's about Trina being healed. And until she can recognize where this came from, how can she heal from it? And this is exactly what Iyanla is saying. She's like, well, if you didn't get it from your mother, where did you get it from? And then what happens? Trina walks out because, of course, she doesn't want to say that she learned this behavior from her mother, which is ultimately going to prevent her from healing.
I don't know, Miss Iyanla. I believe you're afraid to acknowledge, see it, feel it, but I do not believe that you don't know. I suspect that Trina is stuck in a family pathology, sacrificing herself to protect the feelings, image, and reputation of her loved ones.